Very good afternoon to all. Thank you for being here today. Welcome to Tally CA Connect. It's been a while since we took a session for the connected GSTN features available in TallyPrime. Our expert for today is CA Kunal Soni. Kunal ji is a practicing chartered accountant. He also gives advice on system implementation through Tally based on companies' requirements. He has taken over 100 training sessions in TallyPrime and is continuing to do so. Thank you so much, Kunalji, for being here today and helping us plan this session. As I have repeatedly said that we have received very amazing compliments for these connected GSTN features, and the only I wouldn't say problem, but only thing I would say is awareness issue if people have not started to use it, or because I know for a fact that people with active TSS has also not yet moved to TallyPrime 5.0. I would love to hear why, but let us make the best of this session. I'm sure Kunalji has drafted a very useful based on the practical scenarios he goes through in his practice. So thank you, Kunalji. Over to you.
Thank you, Kumalji, for the introduction and Tally Solutions for inviting for this session. Okay, so very good afternoon to one and all present. So basically, see, initially, I would just like to have certain details from you. How many of you are actually using 5.0 or 5.1? If you can just mention in the chat box or anything. And if using the same, are you actually using the connected GSTN feature, the automation of filing the GSTR return? Okay, so we have a mixed bunch of answers. Okay, now see, just to brief you, means when Tally came up with 5.0, so what were the basic updates? So we all know that initially we had the import feature, dashboard feature, and all those things. Post that it came up with connected GSTN, and along with the same, it even came up with the update for section 194Q. So now deduction of TDS under section 194Q is completely automized. You don't have to work with the workaround that was provided previously, that you need to check manually the limit of 50 lakhs. And apart from that, you could create GSTN directly. You could create the ledger master directly from the GSTN. You could verify the GSTN details. You could verify the return filing history for the same, verification of HSN code. Apart from that, automation in terms of filing of GSTR1, GSTR2B reconciliation. Then apart from that, there are even reports for bills receivable and bills payable, which shows how much ITC is on risk, for which follow-up is to be taken because the supplier has not shown the same in GSTR2B. So today my basic purpose would be to provide you with a glance on all of the features that has been provided in TallyPrime 5.0. Okay, so hope the screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what are the key features of TallyPrime with regards to connected GSTN? So basically it's seamless upload and download. So you can instantly upload, means GSTR1, GSTR3B. Then you could even download the details from the portal, the details of the uploaded GSTR1, GSTR3B, GSTR2B, 2A, 2B can be downloaded from the portal also. Then there is effortless filing. That is, GSTR1 could be filed directly from Tally either through DSC or through EVC without logging into the GSTN portal. Apart from that, there is dynamic party management, which means that the ledger creation could happen directly through GSTN. You could even create the bulk ledgers just through the GST number. And apart from that, the one is insights on the ITC at risk. So what is it basically? So Tally by default has provided with a report for bills receivable and bills payable. So what it shows that for why bills receivable, because let's say you have supplied to any of your customer, however, the same has been left to be displayed in GSTR1. Then Tally would provide the report on the same, that tomorrow customer might not pay the GST amount for that particular invoice. And similarly, with regards to your suppliers, So let's say if there are any mismatch between GSTR 2B and your books, then that report would be available again directly from the system, so that you could have follow up with your supplier that the ITC is not reflected. So if you want to keep their payments on hold, you could even keep the same. So these are the basic benefits to business for of connected GSTN. That is, it resolves the mismatches and rejection. It ensures smooth filing and upload download process, minimizing errors and rejections. It saves time because you are not supposed to log into GSTN portal, download the JSON and then reconcile and do all those stuff. System would directly take care of the same. It is integrated with the GSTN portal. So you are not supposed to manually log in or do all those stuff. Apart from that, it ensures compliance. So as I told that there is reports for ITC at risk. So based on the same, you could have the follow-up with your suppliers and customer. And the one that is stay informed the updated status. So it provides you with the real-time update in Tally itself regarding the actual data. Okay, and there is one question, will you provide presentation? Yes, I would just share it with Komalji. She would forward the same to you. Now, these are some of the functionalities that we are going to look into in this particular session. So these functionalities are streamline upload of invoices. So all the invoices for GSTR1 that we can just directly file from Tally itself. We are not supposed to manually upload any Excel or through any utility, or let's say we would export the data in the Excel utility and that Excel utility we would upload on the portal. So we can just directly upload the same from Tally itself. And even the filing of GSTR1 through EBC or DSC would happen directly from Tally. Then even the IFS facility is also available. GSTR1, 3B, 2A, 2B reconciliation would also be available directly from the system. So these are the key functionalities that we are going to discuss about. And see, Tally on its web portal, they themselves have provided certain guiding videos with regards to what is connected GST and how reconciliations and other things takes place. So I would, before initiating the practical session, I would just like to brief you on the same, that how even user could directly just go through the same, and you could just have the setup from your end itself and start using the same. So first we would look into the connected GST and return, that is upload and file GSTR1 directly in TallyPrime. So it navigates me directly to the Tally portal, and see there's an option here. Let's start with. So let's say once I'm initiating the same. So what it shows, see, you are not supposed to do anything. Tally themselves have provided this, I would say, the entire walkthrough of the same, that how filing could happen. So I would just quickly have a walkthrough of the same in 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can proceed further for the practical session. So how first is filing of GSTR1. So basically, see, first and the foremost thing to use these features is you should have a valid TSS. So if you have a valid TSS, then and then only these all features would be available to you and you would be able to use the same. And apart from the same, you need to have the setup for e-invoice or e-way bill configuration, which are connected through APIs. So if both these things or either of the e-invoice or e-way bill are enabled, then you could use these particular features. So to initiate with the same, we need to go to Exchange. Then there is an option. See, first option would be to log in the same. So whenever we do the same, we initially need to log into the GST portal. There would be a one-time password which we need to enter. Once we enter the same, then your Tally GSTN would be connected directly through portal, and that would be valid for 6 hours once you have logged in. And once login, you could upload this data directly from Tally. So see, there's an option here, upload GST return, GSTR1. Then all these things that are there in the GSTR1 in Tally, that would be fetched by itself. You could just click on send. There would be an OTP on your registered mail ID and mobile number. Once you click the same and enter the same, all the details would be transmitted to the GST portal. So this is how it basically works. Now, Once you have sent all the details, then again you need to go to exchange and there is an option to file GSTR1. Once you click on the same, once you verify with all the data, you can just click on send, and based on the same, just enter the PAN number, EVC, and you could just file the same directly from Tally itself. The ERN also would be generated and auto fetched in Tally. So now see what Tally shows, the ARN number, ARN date, that also has been updated by itself. The status has been shown to file. And this is the data of the GSTN portal that has been filed. So see, in this manner, entire filing of GSTR1 would happen through Tally itself. So this was with regards to GSTR1. Similarly, they have provided a functionality for GSTR2A 2B reconciliation. So how that works basically. So a quick glance onto the same. So again, we need to go to exchange, download GST return. So for doing the 2B reconciliation, what previously we used to do was manually download JSON, upload the same in Tally and then reconcile. Now this has been inculcated in Tally itself that it is integrated with the portal. So you could download the file GSTR1, 2A, 2B, 3B directly from the portal. OTP would be sent on the registered number and accordingly the data would get downloaded. So all the 2B data, it would be downloaded by itself. You can go to display more report, statutory, GSTR 2B reconciliation. And see now these are the details as per the books of accounts and below are the details as per the GSTN portal. So it reconciles by itself and then you could check the individual differences and all those things and make the final reco for the same. The blue marked are the one as per portal, that is 2 and 2B. They would be marked in blue and the black ones are the transactions entered in the books of accounts. So GSTR1 filing, 2A, 2B reconciliation, that would happen by itself. Now, apart from that, what other features are there? So we can have master creation directly from Tally itself. So we would now have a practical walkthrough as to how it will happen. Okay, so there's a question, what about the IMS? Can that be automated? So see, Tally currently means, see, basically IMS is not mandatory as of now. So they have not notified the dates that all the data that are there as of now would be available based on the IMS only. So it is more or less, there is no compulsion. It is voluntary. Now Tally currently is working on the same, and in the near term, it would even provide with the functionality for IMS so that the acceptance, rejection, or the status to be kept as pending, that also you could just have it from Tally itself, and accordingly you could comply with the this IMS notification. So yes, in near term, it would be there. Now discussing about this, that how we can create masters in Tally directly through GSTN. So what's the basic importance of the same? That see, when user is manually creating any of the master, there are high chances that there could be some sort of errors in the same. User has entered wrong GST number. Maybe there are mismatch in party name, address, PIN code, any other thing. And what happens because of the same? So let's say if PIN code is incorrectly entered, then in that particular case, the distance in e-way bill would get incorrectly fetched. So to overcome all those things, there is a simple functionality that just enter the GSTN in the Tally ledger creation screen, and Tally would create the master of the same by itself. So we would even look into the same, that how the same could be done. Hope the Tally screen is visible.
Yeah, Tally is visible.
So let's say this is just a demo data. And we want to create one master. So we are going to ledger. So in general, what we do is we enter name, grouping, address we would enter, GST number and all those details. Now, let's have a scenario where we want to just enter the GSTN number of any of the party directly here. So I would just enter one of the GSTN number here, just to check that whether the details are available directly from the portal or them. Now see, for this, there is no requirement of any sort of API integration or anything. This could happen by itself. So we are going in the master creation screen. And see, rather than manually entering anything, what I would do is I would just mention the GSTN number here. There seems to be some issue, or maybe I suppose the invoice portal details won't be active as of now. So it is showing this error. Else it could happen directly from there itself. And even one more thing. So see, there are 4 features, that is you could create master directly from Tally. Then there is an option for bulk verification of masters directly from Tally. So how that happens basically. So let's say we are going to display more reports, statutory reports, GST, GST utilities. There is an option for validate party GST and UIN. Now let's say I'm currently going to sundry creditors. I'm selecting all the items. There is an option for fetch GSTN details. So there seems some connectivity issue as of now with the portal, or maybe the e-invoice functionality currently would be under maintenance, so it is not displaying the same. Else the details would be fetched directly, and you could check the status here, whether it is active or cancelled. And along with the same, you could even check the same, that whether what are the latest filing details of those particular suppliers or customers. So let's say the return was last filed for which particular month, so that you could very well trace the same, whether the tax has been paid on the same or it has not been paid. So now see, just for this particular example, it shows currently that the status, this has been transmitted and the status of the same is active. Once I click on the same, it shows me here that what ledger name address I have created as per books and what is there as per the GSTN portal. So now there is even an option at the time of master creation or alteration screen, that if I want to just copy the same directly and paste it in the master itself, I could do it directly from there. And it shows even with the GSTN status. Now, if I want to check the filing history of the same. So what it shows, that when the last returns were filed, he is into which particular business. So for the purpose of ITC availment, it is very well necessary that whatever things, goods he has supplied or services providing, are those actually there in his GST registration, or it is just a case of bogus billing or anything. So you could very well have a practice of just identifying all these things and doing a cross verification on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis or some regular intervals, so that there is proper control check on the availment of ITC for the same. So hope this is clear. So for all your debtors or creditors, you could just fetch all these details through single click directly from Tally. Now, if the same thing, if you want to have bulk upload of the same, so see there's an option here that import the GST and UIN from Excel. So once you click on the same, wherever your Excel is, you could just provide the path of the same, just mention the GST and number of each particular parties. Based on the same, all the details masters would be created by itself. Then you could just fill up other details like their individual groupings, bill to bill should be set to yes or no, TDS applicability and all those things. So if you want to create bulk ledger master, then you could create it from this particular option. Create party using GST and UIN. And validation of multiple parties would happen from here. Validate party GST and UIN. And so we looked into all those things. You could create individual ledger master, that is from the master creation screen. You could have bulk verification of GSTN from the statutory reports GST bulk and party bulk this validate party GSTN tab. Apart from that, bulk creation of ledger master, that you could create it from here, create party using GSTN. And the last option is verification of filing history. So we checked for one particular party in the creditors tab whose status was this active, that when the last returns were filed. So these are the functionalities, and if you use the same, at least the punching errors and all those things that could be rectified. Now coming to the other part, this was with regards to master creation in Tally. Now there is even an option for HSN code, SSC code verification. So what exactly it does? So see, you would have entered HSN code for multiple ledgers or for multiple stock items. And based on the same, GSTN is calculated with the respective rates. And accordingly, the same is updated in your GSTR1 in Tally. So whether those HSN codes entered are correct or incorrect. Now there has even been limits. For some 8 digits are mandatory, for some 6, for some 4. So whether you have entered the same or not. So even that could be verified directly from Tally. So just for example, so we are going to any stock item. Let's say we have entered one stock item here. We have mentioned this in description. Now there's an option here, get HSN SSC code info. Now once I click on the same, it would ask me. Now see, currently it hasn't asked me with the credentials because I have previously already logged in the same. Once I have logged in, it's valid for a time period of 6 hours. So it didn't ask, but what it shows is that for this particular HSN code, which is 8 digit, the description is cotton yarn other than sewing thread containing 85% or more by weight of cotton and retail sales. So this is the description. Now whether the same has been there in your master also or not, whether this GSTN is correct or not, that also you could verify directly from Tally. Okay, now going to some of the questions. As in admin, can we lock or ensure that ledger creation or HSN is done through fetch GSTN option only? So not exactly currently, but what you could do is, if for you could just provide the ledger creation right to one particular person only. So currently means in user roles, you could define that only one responsible person would be there, would be having the rights for creation of ledger master, and he need to currently make sure that it's done through validation in portal or for HSN or GSTN. But you just can't means make sure that he has done through that you need to verify post he has created the masters. And one more thing, let's say whenever you create any of the master, I would just like to show you one more thing. If you enter any wrong GSTN, then in that particular case too, Tally would provide you with a pop-up. So let's say I'm just creating some. Now when coming to GSTN, just let's say I have just mentioned anything. Even if the GSTN number also, if I have mentioned in the correct format, so whatever it is, if it is not matching with the portal data, it would show here with this pop-up that the party GSTN details provided is invalid or incomplete. So through this also, the person who is creating the ledger master, he would have an idea that this is incorrectly entered, so I need to rectify the same. So currently you could use that functionality through user roles and provide master creations rights to one particular person only. How to verify HSN for services when there is no stock is there? Okay. So let's see in that particular case, what would happen, that the HSN code would be provided in the ledger master itself. So just for example, I go to alteration screen, I select any of the ledger. So let's say this is the ledger. Now see, currently I have entered this particular HSN here. So that particular option would even be available here, that get GST and SSC info. Once I click on the same, it would provide me with the details that this is basically for cotton, not carded or count. So for service, you could get the HSN from the ledger screen itself. And just to show you with one more thing, when you, these are for individual ledger master or stock master creation. Let's say if you want to have bulk verification, in that particular case, you can go to display, statutory reports, GST reports, GST utilities. There's an option for GST rate setup. You could click on the same. So what it provides here, whether you want to provide rates for GST groups, or it is for GST ledgers, or it is for stock item groups or stock items. So let's say if I select stock item here, I want to have bulk verification of all these things. So what I could do is, let's say I selected all of the same. I selected this get GST and SSC info. So what it would do, it would verify all these stock items, whether those are correct or not. If anyone is incorrectly entered, then it would provide me with the details here by itself. So even I could do the bulk verification of HSN code. And let's say if for any particular stock item, I have not entered the HSN code, then in that particular case, what it would do is for those stock items, it would provide me with the details that the HSN code is not entered, you need to enter the same. And similarly, it happens for ledgers also. So now see, for all these that were entered, it verified the same whether those HSN are correct or not correct. Now see here, one is for SSC code. So even that is displayed here, the SSC codes. And same applies for this party masters too, that let's say when you select all of the same and you fetch the details, there seems some connectivity issue, as it would even provide you with the GSTN status, whether it's active or it's not active. And if it is cancelled, it would even provide you with the details of the cancelled dealers. Okay, so this HSN, how to verify HSN for service, it's when there is no stock. So that's already been taken up. If there are multiple branches, we have maintained books of cost center wise. How will this direct filing from Tally work? Okay, so just to brief on the same. So let's say if you have multiple branches, so Tally 5.081 has the functionality for maintaining multiple GSTN. So when you go to F11 features, when you enable GSTN, you could create each of the registration GSTN, and this for all of the GSTN reports, you could have cost center wise reporting also. Similarly, the GSTR 1, 3B, 2B reconciliation, each would be generated individually for each of the registration. And that we would even look further how it is. But currently the functionality provides the details that you could have each of the same maintained in one tally itself. You are not supposed to have separate data for each of the same. Okay. Okay, I will need to talk in Hindi. Okay. Yeah.
No, Kunalji, let's continue in English only because
Okay.
we have said it will be, yeah.
Okay. And there are further question. We would get template for import. So yes, see, that simple template, and currently Tally has provided functionality. You could import data based on whatever fields the way you want to define. So that is the default functionality of Tally itself also. There are no specific templates that you need to have. You can define based on your particular requirement also. And for recordings and all those things, I think Tally team would provide you with the same. Okay, so I suppose mostly I have tried to answer the same and it has been answered. Now, so the first basic things that we discussed. So one was with regards to master creation through GSTN. And the second one is regards to HSN and online SSC code verification. So there also bulk HSN and other things are possible, and it is there even for ledgers and stock items. Okay. And there's just one question: how can we import Excel? So see, there is an option here: import. You could import masters, transactions, GST details, anything that you want. So this is the default functionality, and for import for each particular vouchers or master, even that also you could define as per your requirement. Now coming to GSTR 1 3B filing, the connected GSTIN feature. Okay, so moving forward, so first and foremost thing is, as we discussed, you need to have a valid TSS license. TSS means Tally should be renewed and it should be active. Once you enable the same, you could create details of all of the GSTN. So one is, let's say there are three registration here. One is the Karnataka registration. The other one is the Maharashtra registration. Then the third one that is there, that is the Tamil Nadu registration. So we have configured each of the same, that what is the state, what's the GSTN number, what is the user ID and password for the same, whether I want to file the same, whether through EVC or through DSC. So that option I need to select here. Then whether invoice services are applicable or not applicable. If yes, from which date. E-way bill details are applicable or not applicable. So these are the basic master setup that you need to create for multiple GSTN. Once you have created the same, what you are supposed to do is you need to have separate voucher types specific for each particular GSTN, so that you could identify that the entries are done for which particular GSTN in Tally. So just to brief you, so let's say there are particularly so particularly these are Karnataka purchase, payments, receipt, sales, Maharashtra credit note, receipt, sales. Then similarly it is Tamil Nadu credit note, receipt, sale. So you need to configure your voucher types accordingly so that you could use this particular feature for this multiple GSTN. And in the statutory details, you need to select this particular option. The default GST registration is which one. So it would provide you with a drop down for each particular registration. You can select whichever is applicable. And you could even define the individual series for each of the GST registrations also through this. So voucher numbering and all those things also would be managed from here. So this is how the multiple GSTN basically works. We would even see how separate reports will be generated for each of the same. And okay, the sale import time place of supply option is reflected. You could please redraft the same properly, and there is an option of sale invoice digital signature. See, digitally you could sign any of the invoice digitally, even that is the default functionalities of Tally. So that also you are not supposed to do manually. Now, coming to this reconciliation part. So let's say initially we are going to display more reports, statutory reports, GST. So see, there are various options. Track GST return activities, GSTR 1, 3B, annual computation, e-invoice, e-way bill, 1, 2A, 2B, and challan reconciliation and utilities that we previously looked. Now, previously what used to happen that we need to manually either export the Excel utility, upload the same on the GSTN portal by logging in manually and file the same, or for even for GSTR 2B, we need to download the JSON and post that we need to file the same. Now with Tally 5.0, it is connected with the GSTN portal. So these functionalities would be available directly from the system, starting from GSTR 1. So let's say first and foremost thing, now see this GSTR 1, currently what is the status? So it shows with GST registration, all the registrations are there. Status is not filed, upload is pending for current period. This is that period, last login was on 29 Jan 229, so current date. And these are the details of all the invoices. Now, first thing that I am supposed to do is, I am supposed to select my registration. So company tax registration. So let's say I need to select for which particular registration I need to file the return. And before that also one more thing I would like to highlight, that is GST login and logout. So see, if you want to use this particular functionality, you need to make sure that initially what would happen, it would show in the inactive sessions. And once you press the same in the inactive session, it would ask you with an OTP. Once you enter the OTP, then it would come into the active session. And once it is active, then only this connected GSTN functionality would be available for you. So you first and foremost thing is you need to make sure that you have logged into GSTN just through the OTP. You're not supposed to log into portal by manually entering any of the ID or the password. You just need to enter the OTP, and that particular login would be valid for a period of 6 hours. So again, coming to GSTR1, once you have logged in, this is your existing GSTR1 for all the branches or sites, we can say. Now, let's say initially I want to just go with the Tamil Nadu registration and details for the month of April. So what it shows is basically currently, this is the registration, it is not been filed from 1st April to 30th April. So these are included in the returns, no actions required. Currently, see, there are no uncertain transactions in this. Now, let's say if I want to file the same, how I'm supposed to do. So first and foremost things is, if there are any errors here, you need to rectify those errors. Or else what would happen when you transmit the data at that particular point of time, error would pop up. So currently, let's say for the month of April, there are no particular error. What I can do is I can go to Exchange. There's an option for upload GST returns. So let's say again here coming here. So this is for the month of April and my registration type is, let's say, Tamil Nadu. I am clicking on send option. So now see what it would do. It is exchanging the data with the GST system. What it does is upload is successful for Tamil Nadu registration for the month of April 24. So all these transactions have been uploaded on the portal. Now there's an option that if I need to check that which all are uploaded, which are all pending. So currently pending, there is no pending, these have been uploaded. I'm clicking on the tab exclude uploaded. So it would show that pending is 0. If I want to include uploaded, it would show that these all transactions are already uploaded on the portal. So this is how basically the details go on portal. Now, apart from that, once let's say I have just uploaded on the same on the portal, post that I want to file the return for the same. What I need to do is again go to Exchange. there is an option for file GSTR1. So let's say if I click on the same. So what it does is currently it's showing me with the summary for the month of April. That for the month of April, 1st April to 30th April. And it is just for my Tamil Nadu registration that I had selected from here. See, you need to be very cautious with regards to selection of your this particular GST and that for which GST you are uploading. You need to make sure the same. Like that also, whenever you are entering OTP, you get an idea. But do make sure that it is for which GST you are uploading and the same is verified. Now, even though from here also, if I want to go to any particular transaction, the drill down is provided till entry level. So if I want to verify something from here, then that also I could do it. Now, if this seems okay to me, what I can do is I could share this data directly to the portal. So let's say I click on send. What it shows, then these are the details. These are the B2B section summary. This is my GSTN. Registration is Tamil Nadu. Status is currently not filed. This is the financial year, the tax period. Then the export section, credit note section. Then these are the B2B sales. So my total number of records are 22. This is my total taxable amount of my total liability. These are the GST, IGST, CNS. Whether if it seems okay to me, I can just click on file. Now again, it would ask me with the pen. So I need to enter the pen. So let's say I'm entering the pen. And I need to enter then the EVC. So whatever OTP would have been received for the filing. So now see what it shows is GSTR1 filing is successful for Tamil Nadu registration for the month of April 24. This is the ARN that has been generated. If I want to view summary for the same, this is the summary. So it is again one and the same as we looked previously. But now the thing to be looked upon is, see here the status that is there. It is filed. ARN has been updated by itself. This is the ARN date, financial year tax period, B2B section, total 12 invoices. These are the taxable amount, export summary. We have gone for exports with payment of duty. So it is showing the tax amount, credit note section, B2B section, HSN summary. So this is the total summary of my GSTR1 that has been filed. Now, see when I came to this particular screen, so even in my GSTR1, if I select this again the registration, it was Tamil Nadu registration. So now see here also it shows that the status is filed. This is the ARN. This is the ARN date. And these all are the details which have been filed. So it is just a seamless workflow directly from Tally itself. It's connected to portal and you could file the same directly from here itself. So this is one of the really good functionality that Tally has provided and much useful. Okay, so there's been question. So once we file GSTR1, we have to file correct one credit note. Can we do it through Tally using GSTR1A? So currently see GSTR1A functionality is not there. But yes, for GSTR1, you could do it from Tally itself. 1A currently they have not provided with the same because those are just some of the additional amendments if that you want to do it, because once the same is filed, it has already been fetched on the portal. So this was one particular thing. Now let's say moving on to the other month. So let's say for the month of May. Again, I am seeing clicking on the Tamil Nadu registration. So now see previously what has happened. There were some errors. So what used to happen is this particular transaction has been rejected on the portal. So let's say just for your understanding, I would just like to provide you with a walkthrough of the same. if I want to upload this GST return. So these are all of the transactions. Let's say I would just click on this send icon. Now see what status it shows. Previously, what it used to show is upload was completed successfully for the month of April 24. When you came to May 24, it's displaying that upload was completed with some errors for Tamil Nadu registration May 24. Please refer GSTR1 for more details. So upload has been completed, but there are some errors in the same. Now what happens? See, if included transaction, I click, these all are included. Exclude uploaded, then this one transaction is excluded. Why it is excluded? Because there is some or the other error in the same. Now, if I want to verify the error, then that also would be available directly from here. Rejected by GSTN portal to be re-uploaded. So let's say once I clicked on the same, what's the reason for rejection? That is, I have mentioned the wrong GSTN for the party. So now, see again, this, if at the time of master creation, if we have control that we verify master, then these all errors won't come at all. So what I can do is I can just select the same, I can just rectify this particular GSTN. Let's say for time being, I'm just assuming that this is my B2B supply, B2C supply, sorry. So I'm keeping it as unregistered. I would just save this particular voucher. Let's say effective date is 1st April 24. To generate e-invoice. So currently what I have done is I have selected B2C for this particular transaction. Now see, it shows here voucher having conflict with the master. So mismatch in GST registration detail between party and transaction. So what it shows is in the master currently we have done to unregistered, but when the transaction was entered and in that particular transaction, previously it was registered. So see, previously it showed that it was a regular dealer. So do I want to accept the same? So once I have accepted the same, that error is gone currently. So now see, it shows that this particular transaction currently I have not uploaded. So it has came in the not uploaded section. Similarly, there is one more error. This is with regards to the HSN code, the HSN summary that we have entered. Now, what's the reason? Length of the entered HSN is not valid as per AATO, that is the aggregate annual aggregate turnover. So let's say currently I'm just for understanding, just modifying the same. So let's say it is, the number is this 4412. Let's say the exact HSN code is 44129950. I just entered the same because it is mandatory to have 8-digit HSN code because the turnover limit has exceeded. So again, there is one transaction which is uncertain. So again, this is mismatch. So what is the thing? HSN SSC details has been overridden. So yes, I have manually overridden the same because 8-digit was required. I could even update the same in the master itself. Currently, just for understanding, I have updated in the transaction level. I can just accept the same. So I have accepted. So now see, uncertain transactions are 0, ready for upload 1, not uploaded 1. So let's say I go to exchange. Then there's a tab upload GST return, GSTR1. I need to select this particular registration, let's say Tamil Nadu registration for the month of May. If I want to send the same online. So now see, upload is successful Tamil Nadu for May 24. So that particular error that was prevailing, I have rectified that particular error and I have uploaded that transaction again. So now it shows that for the month of May, all of the transactions have been uploaded. So I can just check the included list and the excluded. So none is excluded as of now or are included. So again, now I can just proceed for filing the GSTR1. So this is the seamless experience that Tally provides with regards to filing of GSTR1. All your errors also, they would be auto-populated. They have proper validations which checks each of the error and accordingly it would be uploaded on the portal. So one of the really good features that has been provided. And if you want to further file the same, you could even file the same. Okay, so now coming to the Q&A section. Oh, so can we import GSTR2B entries in Tally from portal? Yes, we would look into the same further. E-invoice and e-way bill, both we can do from Tally. Yes, so both is possible. So for a single sale transaction, you could generate e-invoice also directly from Tally and simultaneously e-way bill also would be generated. So you are not supposed to manually log in on the portal or do anything. And one of the best functionality, e-way bill also is not required to be downloaded. Along with the invoice, e-way bill would be printed by itself. So first page would be your invoice, second would be the page for the e-way bill. And in the invoice, the QR code for invoice also would be generated by itself. So that again is one of the seamless experience that has been there. There's one question with regards to e-invoice process. So currently, see, I have not taken up the same considering the limitation of time. However, if you want the same, means we can provide you with the presentation on the same so that you have an idea how it works. And there's a question who can join CA committee that you could coordinate with Komalji and all. Okay, so hope GSTR1 procedure currently it's clear. And there are further some questions in the Q&A section. How to reconcile 2B that we would take further. How can I generate a JSON file for GSTR1 for quarterly GSTR1? So just to provide you with a brief on the same, Tally even provides with the IFF facility also. So for quarterly filers also, that also could be done directly from Tally. And it's a similar process. And again, you are not supposed to have JSON. That data would go directly from here to portal. How to show GST rate in GST portal? So I suppose GST rate, the basic rate details are there in the master tab itself, whether it is the ledger master or the stock item master. It has been provided with the what is the rate prevailing rate of GSTN. So through that you would just mention the same based on your HSN or SSC code and it would be fetched. What if I don't maintain different voucher types, but I have registration control in invoice number? Then how can we use this function? So see, practically it is, I would say, not viable, and it it won't provide you with the required, I would say, reports. See, you need to have separate voucher types itself, because even for invoice series also, let's say if you want to maintain invoice series, you cannot manually enter the same each time. You need to have two separate voucher types for the same, so that your invoice series are generated by itself and it is not done manually or anything. And to use this functionality, you for segregation of data for the purpose of GSTN, you need to have separate voucher types. In one particular voucher type, let's say for sales, if you have entered sales for 3 particular states, you know that these are different series for your each particular state. System cannot know the same. So for the same, the best option is only you need to create separate voucher types, and in that particular voucher type, you tag your GSTN registration so that system would have an idea that the entry is for which particular GSTN registration. What are the settings to automatically compute GST amount in voucher entry? So see, those are the basic, I would say, the data entry configuration that at the time of ledger and master creation, you need to set up the rate for HSN codes and all those things. Accordingly, in your sales invoice, GST would be calculated by itself. OTP will go to client, which is not easy every time. can we log in using login credentials? So no, see, currently means if just through login, it is not directly possible because the OTP is for the purpose of validation. And even if you are filing GST from the portal also as of now, you need to enter the OTP when you are doing through EVC. So that's mandated, means you cannot just directly do this GST login and get the needful done. And even from the control or the security purpose, it is required. Can we change principal place of business in Tally if we have change our place of business, but shouldn't affect the previous invoice that are generated in the previous address. So yes, so see, whenever you are creating company, you could have multiple registrations also or multiple additional places also. And at the time of printing configuration, you could select that this invoice is dispatched from which particular place of registration. So accordingly, or even if you have 3-4 additional places in one registration itself, then that also you could select while creating the invoice. So yes, that option are available in the system itself. Reconciliation process I would show, PPT I would share. Potential match copied from portal to books. You would look into the to be reconciliation further. If later on we came to know some item in GSTR 1 3B have missed, how can we make updating file in 3B? So see that basically I would say would go in the amendment section. So amendment, you need to do it on the portal directly from your end, that those are the additional records that you need to submit. And for amendment, you can even this file GSTR 1A. Multiple cost centers in purchase voucher are possible. In case of GST amount amendment, increase or decrease, then how to do it? Amendments currently, I would just say that you just need to tackle it manually, and see, generally for sales, invoice is also applicable. So I would say there are no chances or negligent in rarest of the case. I suppose you may cancel those invoice because the ideal procedure, once the invoice has been created, you just need to pass with the credit note or debit note for the same. You cannot cancel or add further on a future date. And if you are doing the same again, there are high chances that there would be litigation in future. Can you provide details of table 9.5 e-commerce suppliers participants in 3B? So see, this basically for e-commerce and availing the TDS credit for the same, I think we can just take it separately entirely because it's all together with respect to understanding the provision also. It's a bit complex and it would take a bit of time. So we can just discuss the same individually, I would say post session. Sometimes GSTR 1 3B mismatch while data is okay. So it is not possible unless you have made some or the other mistake. 2B we would take further. So GSTIN rate in GST portal, how? See, GST rate you get in any of the master screen. So let's say any of the sales account is there. There would be tab here for GST rate and all those things. Similarly, it would be there in the stock item also. So see, currently I have just catered with all of the queries. I have just tried to respond each of the same. Balance, if there are any, I think we can discuss further. But we check with the ledger master creation, the HSN validation, the GSTR 1 filing through the Tally. Now the functionality with regards to downloading the data from the portal and further reconciliation of GSTR 2B. So before that, just one thing, when we go to statutory reports GST, track GST return activities. Now see, through this particular report, you could check that whether the returns are there, whether those are filed, not filed, what exactly is the scenario. And again, this would be providing for each particular registration. You could even filter the same in all this. So Karnataka registration, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. So April 2024. So see, this particular return we have filed on the portal. So what it's showing? Correction needed, no. Pending for upload, no. Exception in reconciliation, yes, it was there. And we have reconciled and filed, and pending to be filed is no. when we came to make correction needed, no, pending for upload, we have not yet uploaded the same entirely and filed the same. So this particular return is currently pending. So the status for the same, you could have it from here itself, whether those are filed or not. And you could even update the same manually. So that option is also there. So let's say for any month, if you want to, if you have directly uploaded from the portal and you want to manually update the same here, then even that option is possible. So manually update the ARN and ARN date. So these are the basic functionalities for one. Okay. Now moving forward, again going to exchange. So see again, similarly, if you want to send it individually for e-invoice or e-way bill, you can send it from here. Or once you save the voucher, there would be an option pop up whether you want to send for e-invoice and e-way bill. You could even send it directly from the same, and it would generate QR code and e-way bill, and you could print the same. So no need to manually coming here every time and send it individually. This is just for the purpose of bulk upload if you want to do it. So the way there is an option for upload GST return, there is even an option for download GST return. So now discussing about the same, that what's this download GST. So let's say if I want to download my GSTR1 or any particular document or 3B or all of the document, and that also GSTN wise, then I could download it from here. So just for example, for this Tamil Nadu registration, I want to download GSTR1 for which period? April 24. Download GSTR1 or IFF. So see, download is successful. The Tamil Nadu registration for the month of April 2024. Now this was just one of the examples that this data, whatever you have been there in your system, that would be available from the portal itself, and that also you could just once verify if you want to verify the same. Now, basically what we are going to do is we would be downloading GSTR2B. So let's say we are taking this Karnataka registration, GSTR2B we want to download, or even GSTR2B, 2A for the month of August 24. There seems some issue again with the same. It's not able to download the same. So see, previously I had already just downloaded the same, and I would just open that particular period. So now see, this is the default basic view of Tally. Whenever you download the GSTR2B for any particular, I would say, registration or any particular time period. So now going through each of the same. So how many of these are the reconciliation status? So these are the mismatch transactions. Available only in books, those are 2. Available on portal, those are 5. Uncertain transactions if there are any. So these are the total unreconciled. Now B2B invoices. So what it shows that these are the total B2B invoices. This shows the detailed GST invoice. Just for example, there is a party named Rahul Store. So there are 2 vouchers for the same. This is the taxable amount, IGST, CGST, SGST, tax amount. And similarly, the one that are marked in blue, the one in black are there as per books. The one marked in blue are the ones, the amount as per portal. And this is the basic screen. If you want to have the detail with regards to this, that group by party registration, voucher count, breakup of tax amount, invoice amount, show GSTN status, and enable Stripe view just for the purpose of identification. Or else, see if you have not enabled all these options, that would be a condensed view of the same. So make sure that you enable the same so that each of the details like invoice number and all those things are available. Now, this is the basic GST wise screen. If you want to view the same voucher wise, then this is the voucher wise. That, see, these are the transactions, those are mismatch when we discuss about the KLM limited. Now, what is the taxable amount? So taxable amount is 45,000. This is the voucher number. Now, when you look into the same, the voucher number is different. Here it is 76. So which is this particular voucher number? So this is the voucher series in your voucher type in Tally. This is not the invoice number of the supplier. Here the voucher number is HO115. So first thing is, see, there are various options here in the F12 screen. So what you need to, so I would say enable all of the same so that you would have a clear idea as to the same. Show party GST and show registration, show effective date, document number, document date, invoice type, place of supply, show RCM, portal values for reconciled vouchers, potential matches. This option currently we are not enabling. We would look into the same further. So now see, it provides with a detailed view, because now see, don't confuse yourself with the voucher number and document number. So whenever you enter any purchase invoice, see, many of you might have questioned that invoice was received late to and we posted it late. Tally doesn't verify based on your this particular voucher date or effective. It verifies based on the supplier invoice number and the date of invoice of supplier. So what you are supposed to make sure is supplier invoice number is mentioned correctly and the date for the same is mentioned correctly. And reconciliation happens based on the same. It is not based on the voucher date that has been entered, neither the voucher series. So please do make sure the same. So what it shows now, see, currently Tally has bifurcated all this transaction by itself. HO 115, 125, then 215. All these invoice more or less are similar. Invoice number are matching. Dates, document dates are even matching. The invoice type is matching. Place of supply is okay. Then taxable amount are even matching. Tax amount is matching except there is rounding off difference in this both. And for this particular invoice, it's not rounding off, it is because of the invoice amount. So why there is difference? First, let us understand the reason for the deviation. Now see, in this particular invoice, there has been TDS on service. It amounts to 450. However, when you look into this particular portal view, portal won't consider that TDS. So the invoice amount is a bit higher. And because in Tally at the time of voucher entry, TDS is deducted. So it shows that TDS is deducted in this particular voucher. So the amount is less. And because of this particular invoice amount, it shows with the mismatch. Same thing is applicable here. Here also TDS of 250 is deducted. So see, all the details are exactly matching except the TDS. And that's going to, there are going to be genuine differences with regards to the same. So these are the basic understanding of these both transactions. Now coming to this particular transaction. Here, the difference is because of the IGST portion. And that is basically with regards to rounding off. So 4th and 8th, these are the rounding off differences that have been there. So difference again could be for various reasons. Now, these both transactions are there. These are available only in books, if we consider the same. And these are the ones that are available only on portal. Now see, when you look into this both, party name and GST number for both these are one and the same. There is a mismatch in the document number. That here the document number is 8845, whereas here it is RT8845. So because the accountant has entered incorrect document number, so it is not matching. Else the amounts are matching. So see, this is the basic screen whereby you could just initially identify the reasons that why there has been mismatch, and it would even provide you with the potential matches for this. Now there is one more option when coming here. Show portal values for reconcile vouchers. Show potential matches between books and portal. Now see what potential matches it shows. So there are two transactions. This that we discussed, that Rahul stores. So here when you look into the same, your taxable amount, tax amount, everything is matching. Invoice amount is also matching. ITC is available. But your document number is not matching in the same. So because of this particular mismatch in the document number, there has been a mismatch. Similarly, for the below transaction, here also it is the same reason. So what is the basic thing for the potential matches is, in potential matches, when you see, they would identify that if amount and all those things are matching, only there is some deviation with regards to invoice, then it is matching with the portal, but here in report it would show as mismatch. Now, what are the basic functionalities, I would say, for the purpose of matching the same? There are TDS deviations, there are other deviations. So first thing is, in F11 features, let's say going to this Karnataka registration. See, you need to go to F12 and you need to enable all these options, reconciliation details. So what it basically asks for, use voucher number and date as supplier invoice number and date. So see, Tally has currently provided even the option that, let's say you have not mentioned the supplier invoice number in the supplier invoice number tab and the date provided by Tally. However, your accountant was mentioning the same in the voucher number itself, as the series was manual or automatic manual override. So in that particular case, if it has already done the same, not entered, you are not supposed to manually enter each of the time. You can just enable this option. Based on the same, Tally would take the supplier invoice number from the voucher number itself and provide you with the matching for the same. So if that is the scenario, you could just set this option to yes. See, currently my purpose is just to brief you regarding each of the features. What is the relevance of each of the thing? Then there is one more option. Ignore zero if the prefix in the invoice so let's say there could be a mismatch in the invoice. Reason for the same is, let's say the supplier issued the invoice for 0018. However, the accountant while posting the same just entered 1818. So in that particular case, there would be a mismatch in the invoice number. However, if you want to ignore such error, then you can set this option to yes. Similarly, there is one more option. Ignore special characters if used in the supplier document number. So what is the purpose of the same? So let's say there is an invoice number ABC/001/2425. Accountant mistakenly forgot to put slash in between. Then in that particular case, it would match the invoice number excluding those special characters. So it would just match like ABC 001 23 24. So those special characters, if mistakenly it has not been entered, even that could be overridden. Then ignore the difference in the invoice amount. So as we told that, we saw that with regards to TDS entries, your taxable value is matching, your GST tax values are matching, but because in the data entry TDS has been entered, the total invoice amount is mismatched. So if there are such scenarios where only because of the invoice amount there has been a mismatch, and if you want to override the same, then this is the particular option that has been provided. Then the last option, that is that ignore the difference in the books and the portal value. So what is that? Let's see if I enable the same. So there may be some or the other rounding of differences. So let's say if there's a rounding of differences of up to 2 rupees, if you want to just provide the same, that up to 2 rupees, if there is a difference in the tax amount, it's not material, then you could just mention the same here. Then that 2 rupees difference should be in the invoice amount, taxable amount and tax amount, or what. So it can be in either of the two. So if in either of the cases the difference is up to 2 rupees, then you want to ignore the same, then you can select the same here. Because in general scenario, see, there would be some or the other rounding of differences. Similarly, there is an option that this should be means greater than or lesser than the portal value, or what exactly you want. It should be only greater or lesser. So ideal scenario is to select this particular option, either 2 rupees more or less than the portal. That is okay. That those are the rounding off differences. And what is the effective date for the same? So I can just select say for from 1st April 2024. So see, this is how means I could just save the same. So this particular configuration would further be valid for my that particular registration. Now see, when I save the same, what it would show that the GST and related reports were altered in the master return. Hence the opening report will update the GST and status of 6 vouchers. Do you want to open the report? So it shows with the same that because I have changed those particular configuration, my impact in the to be reconciliation is going to change. So now see, previously there was no reconcile transaction. Currently there is one tab additionally for the reconcile transaction, and it shows these are reconciled. Why? What's the reason for the same? Because I have set that option to yes, the rounding off. So in my books it was 5116.5, whereas in the portal it is 5116. So I have just enabled the validation that up to 2 rupees difference it is okay to me. So because it is less than 2, so it has ignored that particular difference. Similarly, in the next invoice also, the 0.82, the difference is less than 2. So by default, from mismatch, it has came to reconcile transaction just by enabling that particular option. So this was the first option that I used, that ignore difference up to 2 rupees. This is one more option, ignore difference in the invoice amount. Let's say I'm enabling the same. See, again, I am saving this particular voucher type. It shows that there are certain records that would be updated. So now see, once I have done the same, again, there was mismatch of 2 transactions with regards to this particular party, KLM Limited. So currently, despite of the fact my invoice amount are mismatched, but I already know the same, that this difference is only because of the fact that I have entered the TDS amount in my voucher type. So it shows me with the same that this difference is with regards to only the TDS, and if I want to ignore those invoice value difference, then if I have set the same to yes, then it would be automatically reconciled. So this was again one of the good feature that they have provided. So see, you can just use all these features. Through this, it would be automatically reconciled by itself. So see, this is how basically it works. Means you need to make sure that see, if you want to do the reconciliation entirely in the from the system itself, you could do it directly from here. Now there are even these transactions. Now these are with regards to Rahul Enterprise, where my invoice number, this is my document number, these are mismatch. So now see, portal here, it provides me with the details of the same, and if I want to match the same, I would even be in a position to match the same. Just give me a time. I would just like to take one with certain questions prior to that. Sir, if I have entries which are available on the portal, but I have not made entries in Tally, can we import these entries automatically in Tally without manually doing each entry? So no, see, currently means it is not something that you can just import the same manually. So just for the example, I would just say that. So these are certain transactions which are, let's say, available only in the portal. So currently it's not that you would be able to just directly enter the same in Tally. You could just have means follow up with your backend accounts team that whether this invoice has been received but not posted. Currently, that functionality is not there. Why the invoice is showing mismatch? So I've already explained the reason for each of the same, why the mismatch was displayed. From where did you open F11 screen? I cannot see that in my Tally 5.1. So see, the means you can just enter the same directly from anywhere in Tally. So I'm currently in the GST return screen. I can just press F11 and through F11. See, now point is here that option for F11 won't be displayed. So see, Tally generally provides all the shortcuts on the right hand side. Here F11 won't be mentioned, but that doesn't mean that F11 won't work from here. You could just click on the same and just go to this GST and select your particular registration type and update from there. Then use company menu and feature option. Didn't get it. Use company menu and features option. What exactly you want to ask? Can we get intimation for GST notices received, which will be available in the, so no, currently that functionality is not there. That if any of the notices are received on the GSTL portal, it would be auto fetched in Tally that these notices has been received and you need to respond the same. And there is one more point that do we have a TDL for importing 2B entries in Tally from Excel? So see, I would say that now no TDLs are also required. If you want to import the 2B also directly, any Excel you could import in Tally. So that import functionality is available in the default Tally. You don't require any such TDLs. Only one time you need to define the setup configuration. Once you have defined the same, you could auto import the same directly. So I would say that no TDL is required separately for the same. And how to work TDS under 194. So see, currently I have not taken the TDS under 194Q, but that has already been means inculcated in 5.1. So if you want to use the same, you could just use it directly. It is there in the default feature. It's just the normal TDS configuration with the threshold. You need to mention the rate and all, and it would auto deduct once your this threshold limit exceeds. Regarding the sessions and the suggestions that you are providing, just for example, for this noti, this importing to be or auto entry through to be or mapping session for import. So all these things and means team would just revert on the same, and we can even mention the same and provide to the this Tally developer team. They would look into the same and take the same in the further course of action. Can we export JSON for GSTR2? So see, for 2B JSON, you can download manually also, and that import for the same is also possible. But why do you need to log in the same on the portal when 2B details are directly available? And once you have reconciled, those reconciled uh, the reconciliation would be exported in the Excel. That functionality is there. So if you have already reconciled the 2B, then uh, that you can export in the Excel. Now, certain more questions in the Q&A section. Will the to be return show all other ITC as per books or appearing on the portal? If as per books, if as per books, can we change it to show details as per portal? So see, those functionalities are there. It shows with every details. I would say that, okay, what are there in portal, what are not in portal. So even when you look into the return view, see, we have reconciled certain transactions. So these are available in books. These are available in portal. These are the reconciled transactions. So for all these details, I would say that it is not just something that you need to individually go segregate, check the same. System segregates the same by itself and it provides you with the details. How to see HSN and item description in stock details. So see that I've already provided the details of the same from the ledger screen you could view. How to previous, uh, sorry, just PPT would be shared. To be potential my documents copied from portal to books is missing. Document number and date. Just give me a time. I would just go through the same also. GST, TDS on scrap. See all those things. I suppose post session, if you want, we can discuss on the same that how means TDS on scrap and all those things would be calculated automatically. How it would be impacted in return. Want to replace document number from portal to books for multiple vouchers in single command. Want to replace document number from portal to books for. So see, a document number, I suppose, I mean, in Tally that functionality is there that if there is something, if the document number you want to have the same as per the portal itself, then that functionality is available that you could have it as per portal. But again, now for the same, for multiple document, we cannot do it on a single click. Yes, for individual documents, it would be available. Now, with regards to the same, if this particular number, the document number that is there here, RT 880 or whatever it is, if you want to update the same directly for individual transactions, you could do it, but not entirely for each of the same. So reconciled, so see what this reconciled entries. So see basically the reason for 2B when you discuss on the same. So 2B is the written document which is available and just for reconciliation. The amounts in the 3B would be based on whatever entries that you have already provided and done, means it would even carry out with the other transactions if the tax is calculated properly. So it is not something that it would be limited only to this 4 or 5 transactions. Now see, just for your understanding, these both transactions, currently tax has been calculated properly in both these transactions. Only there was a difference with regards to the document number. So 3B currently would provide the same. Now it is the, I would say, consultant or the accountant's role that uh, before filing the 3B, 2B reconciliation is done. So you can make sure that let's say there are 6 records in this 3B. So all these 6 records are reconciled or not, or what are the differences that you could have. But it is not that only the reconciled transaction would be available in GSTR 3B. Uh, uh, just one with regards to popping of this document number in Tally. So see that functionality is all that already there in Tally. Just give me a moment. So, see, it is already there. If you want to just copy this particular document number directly here, that is available in the default system. I would just get back to you on the same. You don't need to this manually enter this. If you want to update this 8845 with directly this particular option that RT858, then that is available in the system directly. I would just get back to you on the same. And some other sharing PPT would be done. Will to be written show all other ITC as per books as appearing? If as per books, can we change it to show details as per portal? So no, see, because currently when discussing about the 3B written, so in 3B written, what all transactions you have recorded in the books that would be displayed. Now, why? The basic reason for the same. There would be RCM transaction, there would be import transactions. When discussing about the import transactions, if you look into rule 37, it provides that the valid document for claiming the ITC for the purpose of import would be the bill of entry. And it is not whether the same is reflected in GST or 2B or not. So there are scenarios where even if the transactions are not reflecting in GST or 2B, still you can claim the same. So what Tally has done is they have basically provided you with a details that all the transactions, if they are correctly entered based on proper configurations, the rates and all those things, if it has been entered correctly, then in that particular case it would reflect in 3B, irrespective of the fact whether it is reconciled in 2B or not. So, and it is better to have it as per 3B only. If you want to exclude any transaction, you can, there is always an option to manually exclude the same. So whenever you look into the any particular transaction, you can set the status for the same, that whether the same is reconciled or not, or you want to reconcile, you want to manually reconcile, or you want to exclude the same. Regarding this particular, one question, see, it should allow to copy the transactions. I would just get back to you on the same. Maybe there is some issue.
Yeah, so sir, we have sent the YouTube link also for that. Yeah. So we have actually part from the product team who's helping with the chat make Q&A. So he has already shared the Q&A, वो copy करने वाला YouTube link here shared.
Okay, yeah. So that link has already been shared to you. You could just go through the same. That functionality is already available in the system. And see, basically means just understand one thing. It is never that your 2B entirely would be reflected in your 3B. And the sole reason is there are certain things which you need to manually consider the same. Like one of the example that I gave for import ITC. And anything further from anyone else? Any other questions or anything?
Yeah, Kunalji, could you send the PPT in the chat itself because a lot of people are waiting
Sure.
for that. So yeah, जैसे उसमें attach document का option आ रहा है and instead of 2 host and panelists, make it 2 everyone.
So I've shared the same in the chat box.
Yeah, I have received that. I'll just disable the chat 1 second so that it doesn't get lost. Okay, 1 second. Can one person confirm if Kunal sir's file is available? You can see the Kunal sir's file on the chat. Okay, thank you, Swarji. Okay, yeah. I'm disabling the chat again so that it doesn't get lost. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, this was with regards to the same, and just one last point. Whenever you would look into the same, when you press Alt G, go to. So there are default options available here for bills payable, sundry debtors, bills receivable. So what are these reports basically for? So these are with regards to your follow-up for the same. So let's say for any particular transaction, so this is the basic report. So now see all this part is now whether these are reconciled, mismatched, uncertain, reconciled. So now for all these mismatched transactions, the thing is that you need to have follow-up with your vendor. So in that particular case, this report provides you with a default view so that which all ITCs are not reflected in the portal, that you could have it directly from here and you could have the follow-up for the same, so that on a future date there doesn't arise any such sort of scenario where you are required to pay the same because the same was not reflected in your 2B. So again, these are the base functionalities that they have provided. So it is with regards to sundry creditors, even for sundry debtors. When you download the GSTR1 for the portal from the portal, what it does, it by default reconciles your invoice as per one and the details available in the portal. So if there are any which are available only in books, like say just for this example, or if there is any sort of mismatch, then whether you need to do any sort of amendment for the same, or in case whether you want to upload the same on the portal, that also you could have it from here. So these are basically the ITC risk report that Tally has defined, which would be helpful for you for identifying the suppliers or the customers in which there is any sort of mismatch. So hope even the same is clarified.
I'll just enable the chat again because you are not getting the responses. 1 second. Yeah. There are 3 raised hands. Can we take the questions from them?
Sorry?
There are 3 raised hands. Can we take
Yes,
the
yes.
questions directly?
Yes, yes,
Because
sure.
I'll have to unmute them.
Yes.
Okay. Shilpa ji, Shilpa Revankar, Mayur Badhani, Abhishek. Yeah. I've already unmuted your mic. You can unmute and take your questions directly. Yeah. Abhishek ji, you're going? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, please. You can address the question to Kunal ji. Yeah.
How to find GST rate in GSTR2B Excel?
Sorry, how to find GST rate?
GSTR2B Excel.
See, I would just say one thing that in GSTR2B currently the HSN code and the rates that are there. Now those are not the mandatory fields even for GSTR9. Those are the voluntary tables that has been provided. So there is no particular requirement that it should be rate wise or anything. So currently, even if you look into the same, it is not this rate wise. The rate won't be displayed here because those are not the mandatory requirement. Neither department has mandated the same as of now.
Okay.
If in
Thank
case in
you.
future it would be mandated, then they would note down the same and even come up with the update for the same.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You can ask your query.
हेलो भाई हेलो मैम मैंने पूछना था कि जो 194 क्यू का सेक्शन है हेलो
Yeah, sir, we can hear you. Kunalji, can you hear
Yes,
him?
yes.
Yeah.
सर जैसे 194 क्यू का सेक्शन जो है टीडीएस हमने डिडक्ट करना है 1% ऑन परचेज फिर अबव 50 लाख, तो हमें टैली में कैसे पता चलेगा कि किस पार्टी का 50 लाख से ऊपर क्रॉस कर गया है परचेज के अमाउंट?
सर बेसिकली सिर्फ मैं आपको एक ब्रीफ दे दूं ना, तो कैसा है कि टैली में प्रीवियसली जो था ना 194 क्यू का, तो वो वर्क अराउंड था कि इट कैन नॉट आइडेंटिफाई के ये जो पर्टिकुलर पार्टी है उसके साथ जो ट्रांजैक्शन अमाउंट है वो 50 लाख से एक्सीड हो गया है कि नहीं हो गया है। तो दो वर्क अराउंड, यानी ऐसा था कि अपने ने दो नेचर ऑफ पेमेंट क्रिएट किए थे। वन इज अप टू 50 लैक्स के, और अबाउ 50 लैक्स हो तो 0.1 डिडक्ट करने का। विथ दिस पर्टिकुलर रिलीज, वो जो थ्रेशोल्ड होगी ना, वो पार्टी के लेजर में जब भी अपने सिलेक्ट करेंगे कि ये 194 क्यू सेक्शन, दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्टी सप्लाइज गुड्स टू अस, तो उसमें 194 क्यू सिलेक्ट कर दिया ना, तो वो अपने आप उसका टोटल कर देगा कि 50 लाख तक कब हो रहा है, एंड जैसे ही वो उसके ऊपर जो भी अमाउंट हो रही है ना, उसके ऊपर से वो टीडीएस डिडक्ट करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे। तो ये सिमिलर वे में वर्क करता है, जैसे अगर आप यानी बाकी सेक्शंस में देखो ना, जैसे 194 जे या कुछ है, तो उसमें क्या 30,000 का लिमिट है, बट 30,000 क्रॉस करता है ना, तो उसमें ऐसा है कि डे 1 से डिडक्ट करना है। बट 194 क्यू में ऐसा है कि 50 लाख क्रॉस किया तो 50 लाख के अबाउ जो अमाउंट है उसी के ऊपर करेगा। तो दैट दे हैव ऑलरेडी डन इन दिस पर्टिकुलर रिलीज। अगर आप खाली वो नॉर्मल सेटअप भी कर दोगे ना, और इनके जो ये यूजर मैन्युअल और वो भी अगर आप पोर्टल पे देख लोगे ना, तो उस पे से भी ये मिल जाएगा आपको।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
सर, मैंने YouTube लिंक भी शेयर कर दिया है, आप उसको रेफर कर सकते हैं। Yeah. Okay, Kunalji, sorry we have exceeded your time. It was a great session. We had like almost more than 300 people participating, and even after almost 15 minutes, we have more than 150 people. So that is amazing to see. Very engaging session. We have answered all the queries, and I'm sure more people will benefit. We have already shared the PPT in the chat, and I'll make sure that the recording goes to you in a day or two. I have shared the playlist link where under Tally Solutions YouTube channel we have a Tally CA Connect playlist. You can see all the sessions taken there for your reference in the future. And for the people in the CA community, if you're already there, great. Thank you for engaging with us. And I've already shared the CA community link. You can join in if you're not part of CA community group, because most of your Tally queries get resolved. Not just Tally queries, any queries you have with regards to your practice or anything, you can just type in, and somebody or the other, your fellow colleagues, are going to reply. So thank you so much, Kunalji, for this amazing session. We'll now end the session. Thank you.